So it was really just so I was doing Orange Theory, and it did get me in a good nice routine, but then it is really costly. And because of the class setting, it was more so just like you had a specific time, you couldn't go when you felt like that, or like if I had an early morning meeting, I couldn't really adjust my schedule that way, so it was not really flexible. So I was I knew I wanted to get back in the gym, but I didn't know where to start. I mean, TikTok kind of had some random workouts, but I didn't know like what would actually be effective. And it also doesn't like create like a set routine. Like you could really just choose anything. Like there's so many different people, so it gets overwhelming, honestly. So I think it was nice to have just like a short plan that could let you really focus and like, okay, I'm going to target these groups and go on. And it was also achievable. I think the best part about being consistent is more so thinking like, are these realistic exercises I can do on a consistent basis? Nothing starting like held me back necessarily. I will say like I've never used a Smith machine before. And a lot of the things I did do at the gym where I see off TikTok, it was more so like in the corner, definitely really shy and timid. So I think this like really got me out of my comfort zone. I think when I first saw the plan, like I have to use the Smith machine, like, oh no, like that type of thing. Also, since like the Smith machine is so popular, sometimes you have to wait and like actually talk to the person and be like, are you almost done? So that type of thing. So I think that was like my biggest like, oh no, I really have to do this hurdle I had to get over.
And are you glad that you faced the fear and conquered it?
Yeah.
All right, great. Awesome. Glad to hear it. And then it wasn't that bad, right?
No, it really isn't. And then you kind of realize like while having this set program, like it's gym intimidation is real, but then thinking about like honestly half the people in there have like no idea what they're doing, because like watching the videos I actually got to understand form, like you get to learn like the different sets, and I'm like half these people were just like sitting there just like twiddling their thumbs, and I'm like, okay, they're not really being effective. So that type of thing.
Yeah. Most people are either like on their phones or just so
Yeah.
self-absorbed in themselves, like they don't really care. That's
Yeah,
like something I try to tell people all the time, but I'm glad you kind of realized that. That's awesome.
I think it was mostly the gym confidence for sure. And just kind of setting like realistic goals and understanding it's like transformation won't happen overnight. Like first week, I'm kind of just like learning and trying to understand the machines. And I think that's what like kind of made me intimidated, because I didn't really know how to use them. But then through working with you, I really got to, understand how this machine works and feel confident like I know what I'm doing on the various machines. Because I think especially in gym settings, I know sometimes they'll have like the little motions, but it's like kind of intimidating to go up and read it and be like, okay, I have no idea how to use this machine. So I
And
think
then you're
that
that
was
person in the gym who's like reading the machine.
yeah. Definitely. I think one of the points you made from the beginning was like you can get cardio in other ways. So like I do live somewhat near my office. It's like a 45-minute walk. So instead of just like typically on the gym, just running for a mile or like running for a long time, it was more so the strength factor of it and just lifting slowly, and then getting my cardio through other avenues, like trying to get my steps in, walking places, taking the stairs places, that type of thing. And then so you could really just focus on your strength rather than just solely cardio and not really muscle building at all. With the strength exercises, you definitely feel like slightly more energized. And sometimes you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't that bad. Or also like the little wins, like, okay, let me try to up this by like 5 pounds and see what happens. And then so it also builds your confidence, because you're like, oh, I'm stronger than I think. And then week by week, also seeing like, oh, I can lift a little bit more than when I first started. That's definitely really rewarding. And that type of thing. I think the check-ins are definitely useful because it just kind of puts you on track. And then also you're able to discuss like, if I had a question, or like, I know we kind of focus, in the past few weeks, kind of on like the food aspect, not specific foods, but more so just like in general of understanding how food works. I think that's really helpful. And so I think the one-on-one conversations really help, because it wasn't like a diet plan. It was just like more of a guide of like understanding how your system actually really works, and how you can still eat the foods that you love, but also like stay on track so you can have the physical progress as well. When people think of, oh, lifestyle change, or they might like equate it to maybe dieting or thinking they need to restrict themselves from certain things. So like, I think I told you, I was like, oh, I had a pizza the other night, and like knowing like that's okay. I didn't ruin all my progress in the gym for like the past few weeks, and just kind of being mindful of like, you can eat what you want, but like making better choices. So like if I'm going to McDonald's, maybe I can just have chicken nuggets because that still is protein, and you can still enjoy things at a restaurant. It's not like you have to order a salad, that type of thing. I would say particularly like you didn't I would say like for the actual like workout plan in the gym, like at first I was like, are you sure we don't want to do 5 days? And you were like, it's fine to just do 3. And it is realistic. You still see results. And like, I think that's something that's not really communicated a lot to people. Like it's not really maybe as common as it should be, that like, you don't need to like go to the gym 5 days a week and like tire yourself out to have progress. And that's something like I didn't know beforehand. Overall, it's a really great experience. I think you were really transparent and honest, and were encouraging. It wasn't like, I know when we went over like nutrition, I was like, yeah, I kind of ate really bad like that. And you weren't like, it wasn't a frown upon necessarily. It's like, okay, that's okay. But like going forward, you can do X, Y, and Z. I think that was encouraging and helpful, as well as like with the gym. At one point, I think I hurt my foot a little bit, and then like giving an alternative plan for while I was still like recovering from that. I think that was also impactful, because you can still, of course, depending on the injury, like you can still move around, but trying to find different modifications and that type of thing.